considered normal if the rate or if its rate is less than 140 and greater than 70. So if it is between 70 and 140, it is normal. It is considered high if its rate is greater than or equal to 140, and it is considered low if its rate is less than or equal to 70. So we need to read rate from the user, and then we need to check whether it is normal, high, or low. Write a program that asks the user to input the rate of a blood sugar of each patient in a hospital. When we say each patient in a hospital, it means more than one. So we're not going to read only one rate, we are going to read multiple rates, so for more than one. So here it indicates that we need a loop. But what type of loop? Is it counter control or sentinel control? It says here -1 to indicate the end of the data. Whenever it says a number entered by the user to stop reading, that this is sentinel controlled while loop, and -1 is the sentinel. So we can go directly and write the structure of the loop, and then we fill the data, we fill the parts inside the loop for the solution of the problem. So let us do this part first, and then we will come to the problem again and see what we want to do. So here is a preparation of our program. The data declaration, we have a scanner, and also we will have initially one variable, sugar rate, and I'm assuming it is double. We assume it has points, or you can define it as an integer if you wish, because the problem that did not say if it is double or if it is integer, so you have your choice. Here a table I have written for as a comment. If sugar rate is less than or equal to 0, then we will assume this is invalid input, invalid sugar rate. Now, if sugar rate is between 70 and 140, but 70 and 140 are not included, then we have normal sugar rate. If sugar rate is greater than or equal to 70, we have high sugar rate, and sugar rate is less than or equal to, oh, here it should be 140. So it is high, and if sugar rate is less than or equal to 70, then we have low. So we are going to read, this is an example. These are sugar rates for some patients, and notice we have -1 to stop reading. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 patients. The first patient, blood sugar is normal because it's within this range. Second one is normal, low, high, and so maybe we should reduce, okay, the number here, we should reduce them because we will trace the program. We don't want to have too many inputs to make our running shorter. So normal, low, high, high, normal, low, and high. So since we know that we need sentinel controlled while loop, so which variable is controlling the loop? It is sugar rate. We will reach sugar rate. If it reaches -1, then we stop. So what is the structure of a sentinel controlled while loop that is controlled by sugar rate? First, we need to read sugar rate for initialization. So sugar rate equal n, next double. Next, we check for the condition, and since we stop for equal, so you can do the following. Put not in front of the condition and put sugar rate equal -1. Or you can just remove this not and write the condition directly. Sugar rate is not equal -1. Both will do the job. Then inside process sugar rate, because sugar rate, the variable will go over this data one by one. In each iteration, do whatever you want to do with 95. After finished, the next one will be 65, and etc. Don't forget for, so this is initialize. This is for initialization. If you remember that loop, every loop must have a variable to be initialized. And here we have the condition. And now for the update, you just simply read again for sugar rate, it will be n, next double. And this part is for the update. Now what we have to do inside the loop, it depends on the problem. So we will read and we will check if it is normal and etc. So let's go back to the problem statement and see what is required to do for the problem. The problem says that the program should calculate and print the number of patients with normal blood sugar, number of patients with high blood sugar, and number of patients with low blood sugar. So this is counting. So this is similar to problem number 1. We are counting number of male and female. So how to do this? We need counters. So let me go to GGrasp. Here I am in GGrasp. So I need to have 3 integer variables. The first one I will call it normal and put 0 in it. The second one I will call it high and put 0 in it. And the third one I will call it low and put 0 in it. These are counters. We will use them to count how many normal and how many high and how many low blood sugars. Inside reading here, we will check for the sugar rate. If it is less than or equal to 0, then we will print a message by saying sugar rate is an invalid sugar rate. This is done in the first condition here. Now for the second condition, else, if sugar rate is greater than 70 and sugar rate less than 140, then what we have to do? We need to increase the number of normal blood sugar patients. We already have a counter for it, so we will increase the counter for normal blood sugar rate patients. Else, if sugar rate is greater than or equal to 140, then we will increase the counter for high. Finally, we don't have any other condition to check, then we have low plus for low blood sugar. Before we run our program, we have to do 2 things. First is here. See, we are waiting for the user to input blood sugar, but we are not asking the user, okay, for a message. So we need system.out.println, enter blood sugar for each of your patients, -1 to stop. So this is what, so enter blood sugar for each of your patients, -1 to stop. This is the first thing. The second thing, after we find the number of normals, high and low blood sugars, we need to print this result to the user. So we will have system.out.println, and we will say normal blood sugar patients is equal or is in a normal blood sugar patients. We can just print it like that, normal, and we will repeat this message, Control-C and Control-V for high blood sugar, and we will repeat Control-V for low blood sugar and Control-V for the total. So the total is normal plus high plus low, and then we need to change the messages here. So here we should say high blood sugar, and here we should say low blood sugar, and here we should say number of patients. So number of patients, and we print the number of patients. Now we are ready to run the program. So let us run the canvas or viewer canvas. Hopefully there are no errors. So there are no errors. So here our canvas opened for us, and the cursor is at the beginning of the program. See, here we have line numbers, and this is obtained from this icon. If you click it, it will remove the numbers, and if you click it again, it will bring the line numbers. Now the program is at line number 7. Now I want to take it to line number 20. So press the cursor on line 20 and go to the viewer canvas and click this icon. So this icon will take you directly to that cursor. It will skip all the previous steps fast, and then we'll stop at this line. See, it is now stopping. At this level, the program is going to print a message. So here is the message: enter a blood sugar for each of your patients. And when we go to the next step, it should wait here now. Now it is waiting. Like what we have learned last lecture for sentinel controlled while loop, we will give the whole data. So I will copy the whole data, and instead of giving only one at this level, we are going to give all of it, Control V. And now I'll press enter. Now this next double is going to read the whole line, but it will take only 95 and save it into rate. At this stage, on the left hand side, we have the variables ready for us to trace. So, but we don't have the variable for sugar rate. Let us step in for one more step. Now the variable sugar rate is created, and we would like to trace those variables inside the loop. So I will drop sugar rate, I will drop normal counter, I will drop high counter, and we will drop low counters. Maybe I want to arrange them, put them side by side to keep a track of these variables while we trace the program inside the loop. So these are the variables that we want to trace while we run the program. Let's step into the program for the next step. And now the value for sugar rate is 95 and all counters are zeros. Now the first value for sugar rate is normal. So inside the if statement, it will check, is it less than or equal to no? So it will skip the first condition. Is it within the normal range? Yes, it will go inside and increase the counter for normal, and see now normal is increased by 1. In the next iteration, this next double will not wait for the user. It will take the next value because it is already saved inside the scanner. And what is the value for sugar rate at this stage? It is now 65. Now 65 is not equal to the sentinel, so we will go inside the loop. And again, the if statement will check. Is it high, is it normal, or is it low? So the first condition is false because it is valid. The next condition is false because it's not normal. The third condition is false also because it is not high. And the last condition is true, so the counter for low will be increased by 1. And see, the value of low is increased by 1. Now I want this program to continue until the end. So I will bring the cursor to the end, and I will click this icon again. And now it has run fast inside the loop, very fast. And then see the last value of sugar rate, it was -1. And see the counters, high were 3, normal were 2, and low were 2. Now we come to printing. So when we print the results, see here it says normal blood sugar patients 2. Click it again, high blood sugar patients 3, and low blood sugar is 2, and number of patients is equal to 7. And this will complete the solution for this problem.